Welcome back to the Two Dudes, Three Legs podcast with your hosts, Zach Dingee.
Tony Cappelletti.
Today we sit down with Jozzy Camacho, who I have entrusted to do a lot of tattoo work on myself, and I think she's just the best. That's why I go to her, and she recently was on Inkmasters. So we break down her struggles and how Inkmasters was, what the experience was like. We talk about her having her own tattoo shop, where she came from, how she got into tattooing, and anything else you want to add, Tone?
Just a powerful story of coming from the streets of Poughkeepsie to top tier tattoo artists globally.
Yep. And if you want to check out the show, it's airing November 1st on Paramount Plus, and we'll see you there.
Oh, you fucking gonna be famous.
Guys are looking sharp.
Zach Dingee,
Tony
Two
Cappelletti.
Dudes, Three Legs podcast, where we share business tips, interview experts,
And travel the world.
This week on Two Dudes, Three Legs.
Don't ask
So who
questions
won?
all right, first question I have for you is, how did you actually get on the show? Do they reach out to you? Do you reach out to them?
So they contacted me actually back in 2018 to get onto the show.
That's so dope. You must have been hyped.
Yeah, back then too, because my work wasn't as good and I wasn't as popular. So it was pretty dope. But I made it into like the last final cut, and they ended up deciding to go with someone else. So and also a lot, like back then I was a lot more shy, so my camera presence was probably ass, like, you know.
So all for the better.
All for the better. So fast forward, they reached out to me again, and I almost wasn't gonna do it because I was in college at the time. I was just in school, so I almost didn't go because I would have had to have dropped out of school, which I did in turn. But I just went with it. I made it all the way to and it's a very lengthy process, you know, like
To get on?
yeah, like they contact you, and then like you send in videos and background checks and all that stuff, and then you just don't hear from them for like a month. But like you have a life, you know what I mean? Like, am I gonna leave? Am I not gonna leave? Like I gotta prepare, and they don't really let you know that you're coming on until like a week prior. So it's just like that. It was tough, but yeah.
How do they know who to reach out to? They're just looking for people. Do they look for people who they think are going to be good on TV, or just good tattoo artists, or do they give you like any reason why they reached out to you specifically?
And what avenue did they use to reach out to you?
Both email and Instagram.
Instagram. I knew it was going to be Instagram.
Yeah, there's a casting company obviously that works for Paramount and for Inkmaster that just literally probably spends all day looking on the internet for good tattooers, you know, like, and people who look like they might have a look that the company's looking for at the time. Like you need like.
I went through a process similar. I forgot the name of the show. It was like 5 days or something. It was like a dating show. They tried to recruit me for it, and they did it all through.
What?
You didn't know that, Zach?
Yeah.
He said this last year.
Yeah, it was like last year. Yeah, bro, it was so lengthy, the whole process to get on the show.
Buddy,
So
They made me
lengthy.
send in
friends.
this video. I had to do an interview, but they found me through Instagram. Like, that's how they're doing it. It's an
Right.
easy way, though, too, because like you can learn so much about somebody
Just by
right to
watching
the
their
gram.
shit.
But you didn't know about this?
Buddy, we're best friends.
Bro, I had to do a whole
I
interview.
hang
I
out
had
with
to
you
tell them
every day.
about my motorcycle accident, and then the show was you got to live in this chick's house for 5 days with 5 other dudes, and I was like, I'm not
You were competing for
going
her
to
love.
be a cuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
like it should be called like the cuck of love or some bullshit.
Bryce, hold
yo,
up. You knew about this?
I kind of knew.
Anyway,
the
I went through
fuck?
the whole
All right.
process, and they were like, "Yo, you need to be vaccinated," and I was like, "Yeah, doses."
Not doing it. Not
Yeah.
doing it.
You got on, or you get auditioned, you get accepted. What's the initial experience like going there? Where is it? What do you have to do?
So, I mean, I was actually afraid. So they film in Canada now. They used to film in Jersey the whole 13, 14 years that it's been
Interesting.
alive. But ever since COVID, they film in Canada. So I didn't actually know if I was going to be able to get in. I have priors. The number one prior that I have is a DWI. So there's like 10 countries you cannot get into. So they had to hire like
For a Dewey?
for a Dewey. Canada's the number one. Like if you get arrested in Canada as a Canadian citizen, drinking and driving, automatic 10 years. Doesn't matter. 10 years in prison.
What?
They're like zero tolerance. You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like literally like people who do, you know, like it's like the same thing with like Singapore. Like you cannot do drugs. You know what I mean? Like it's just zero tolerance. So they
I got one 6 days after I got my license.
And they cut his leg off because of it.
Yo,
I wasn't
When you got
100%. They weren't even 100% that I was going to make it through.
were you drinking and driving in Canada?
No, fuck no. They wouldn't even let us leave the hotel. So you're on complete lockdown. You have to be in isolation for the first 7 to 14 days. So I didn't even really see Canada, to be honest with you. Vancouver, I mean, from the outside it was beautiful, but
Mm-hmm.
we weren't able to go out or do anything. Like, it's literally, you're working 12, 15-hour days.
Wow.
You don't really have any time to do anything besides sleep.
And is there any type of compensation?
$250 an episode.
Oh,
$250 an episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Dollars.
still, what's,
US
what the
dollars.
most valuable thing is the,
Exposure.
Yeah.
that's it.
I feel like that's why the pay is so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, you're gonna, hopefully this will set you up forever, so I'm gonna pay your shit while you're here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So-
$250 an episode.
And I was telling them, like, it takes 4 or 5 days to film one episode.
Wow.
Yeah, so let's talk
And
about it, like the
16 weeks,
production.
yeah.
What was that like on set? Like, did you feel like you had to end up doing things over and over again, tattoo wise? Does it make it different that it's on like a video production set? Like, what was the process like when you're in the mix, when you're on over there?
It is the most repetitive thing I've ever done in my life. Like, you're gonna watch it and you're gonna see moments where we're like walking into a room, and we did that over 18, 19 times.
What?
Walking into a fucking room and just
What?
literally like sitting down, and all of our seating is all planned out before we sit down. So like, we'll walk into a room, we'll sit down, and it'd be like, no, we didn't like Coral's face. Like, she got to come out. We got to do it again.
Oh,
do it
my.
again. We're doing this kind of shit for 5-6 hours of a day just to
That's
get good
crazy.
video footage. Or if they tell us something, right? And they make us do reactions. If they don't like the reactions, we're doing that for 2-3 hours.
Oh my God.
A lot of it is kind of like weird. Like, you're going to see moments where we're all making like these crazy faces. Like, somebody says something and it looks like I'm like looking at you like, this bitch is stupid, But it's really because like there's going to be a moment, there's going to be a moment where production is telling you like, all right, act like you heard something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Wow.
like, and so the narrative probably gets painted where like, just like, damn, see, I knew Jozzy didn't like her.
So a lot of it is extremely scripted, but is the competition fair and real?
I would say that it's like 95% reality TV. The competition fair, yes. There's favoritism. I feel like there's favoritism for sure. I don't feel like it was compromised, but I do feel like it was very noticeable. And as a competitor, when you're in the midst of it, it feels unfair.
Yeah.
But it's really more so reality TV.
So then they're taking favoritism to the people who are giving them the best TV. You're thinking?
I think
Would you say that?
I think that the favoritism comes just from sole reputation of who you are before you came on to the show. But I do feel like the artists that I believe should have made it further didn't. And I do, whether that was a TV reason or I don't think it was a skill reason. I think that you're also being judged by artists at the end of the day, people who are artists. And art is how it's viewed is very different from everyone. What I find beautiful, other people don't, and vice versa for anyone. People who like my work, and then there's people who don't. There's people who hate it. So it's all about perception, I guess, and it can be confrontational.
So I'm sure a lot of people want to know what the actual experience in the day-to-day is like. What time you got to get there in the morning? What do you do during the day? What does it look like? When do you leave? Like, give us a day in the life
On
Okay.
Inkmasters.
On Inkmasters.
You're like literally, I'm up by 4:30. We're in cast room getting ready to leave. You have no access to your phone for the entire time. So they take your cell phones at 5 a.m.
Wow.
You don't get them back till you're done. So like, go into the studio. We're all in like these vans. There's like a awesome set of producers that take care of you. They're like your babysitters. You literally can't move, walk, leave site without someone next to you. At the first day, you're like, this is cool. Like, I have a fucking chauffeur. And then by day 4, you're like, I just want to piss alone, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild. Like, you get in there and you get right into reality. So whatever happened the day before, they're putting you in like this lounge room, kind of something like this. And they're literally like talking about the day before. If someone got eliminated or whatever the competition or the whatever it was the day before. And they're kind of like forcing argument a bit, like they kind of want to start pushing buttons and start like playing narratives. You do that for 2 hours. Then you go into filming whatever the day is, whether it's a tattoo or whether it's like something extremely crazy. Like, you don't have much time to think. You don't have much time to design. Again, like, you're tired, you're slightly delusional. Like, you're doing 15, 16-hour days. And on top of that, like, they like to mix alcohol in that. so they can get the best character out of people. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. And I'm a tank. Like, I can drink. You know, I did not really drink out there. My fuse was so short, and I didn't want to like fight production. Really, like they're just so fucking touchy as people. But
so I want to know how you think that you ended up being depicted on this reality TV show. Like, what do you think the the perception of you is going to be when Inkmasters releases on November 1st on Paramount Plus?
I think it's gonna be one or two things. I think they might paint me as a hater. I think they might paint me as a hater.
Damn.
I was very vocal about the things that I didn't like, you know, and what I felt like it just wasn't cool. So, and it depending on how that camera moves around and switches in and out, you know.
Yeah.
They might pick me as the hater or a villain. I mean, I was very vocal. I was very vocal. Yeah.
Were you talking shit about other people or like the whole
I was talking
thing?
shit to the people.
Yeah.
Like I was talking.
Yeah.
There was like a lot of arguments, like in like critique rooms, like in the lounge area. Like I'm just very opinionated. And
All right, so I got two
That's
quick
dope.
ones then.
That's dope as
One,
fuck.
did they make you sign an NDA?
yes.
Okay. Well, then my follow-up is, what is the juiciest story that you can tell us?
Oof.
Pick one and roll with it.
I don't know if I could, to be honest with you. But
Really?
yeah, but maybe if we double back on another session of this after everything airs, I can give you some good shit.
Okay.
There was nothing juicy off camera that you're allowed to tell, or no?
To be honest with you, off camera, I feel like I spent a lot of my time alone. It was
All you want probably when you're
yeah,
done.
So all the drama was saved for the cameras. Then.
yeah, you're very like you get very cornered, and it's a lot of pressure at all times. There's 18, 19 cameramen. Literally, you walk around with cameras in the side of your neck. You know what I mean? Like, and there's producers, and then there's story producers who are like the troublemakers, and then you have your production team that like takes care of you. So like, when I did ever have a second, I was very much alone. Even back at the hotel that we stayed in, like everybody would hang out in like the hot tub. I would do like a time or two, but I just wanted to kind of be on my dolo shit.
So by design, they are trying to make you like they want you guys to fight and bring drama.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, would you watch it if there wasn't?
Right.
Would you like reality TV is only cool because it's shit that's happening that like you would.
So
actually,
the ways that they're getting it out of you is by encouraging you to
But
drink.
it does
Yeah.
also
high stress.
high stress is like the number one. You're tired, you're stressed, and you're also competing for $250,000. Like, it doesn't seem real until you're in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's prize money. That's tax-free money. Like, damn, I could
Tax free. Why is it tax free?
It's prize money. You can't tax prize money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fire.
yeah. So it's like you literally like the closer you get to it, you're just like, oh, there's only like 6 people between me and
Does
250.
second or third place win anything or just first?
No, just first.
first?
Just
Okay.
first.
It's Canadian dollars.
No.
It's like $7 American money.
It's U.S. You get paid U.S.
Good.
Yo, are people having sex on the show, like competitors and hooking up and shit?
No
I'm
shot.
sure, but
What?
So I'm sure. I mean, we're adults.
Come on, bro. What are you
We're
talking about?
adults.
She just said they're alone all the time. She can't even take a piss without being watched. When are people sneaking out to fuck?
Back in the hotel. I mean, so prior to COVID, there used to be a shared house, which I don't think I would have managed to be able
yeah,
to
that's
do.
a whole different
I would
level.
have died. Like, but this now, like, we're in hotels, separate hotel rooms. I don't know.
You know, thinking about that, I feel like that was always the craziest part of the show was after when you're back at the house and everyone's sitting on like, or maybe it wasn't even at the house, but when I used to watch the show, it was everyone sitting, just the tattooers, and they were arguing in like a certain, is that?
That was
Still
probably
happening?
lounge. That was probably lounge.
okay.
So like that's a setted lounge where they create, looks like a living room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's
So that still happens?
that's where like I would say like 80% of the drama will happen.
got it.
That's
Okay.
that's what that room is meant for. That
Got
room
it.
is meant to entice. That's where you talk about what happened the day before. That's where you talk about what someone said about you, and
Is all of the competition actually a surprise? Like, are they letting you know the day before what's happening the next day, or it's
fuck
true?
no, it's really
yeah.
really true.
That's crazy.
So
It's
they're
really
really
true that
showing
you
you.
walk into like literally you're blind.
And you have
So I
no
just-
idea.
I
No.
think it's kind of weird that, you're there as a tattoo artist, but they're having you do welding and fucking painting,
I mean,
using
you're-
broken glass. What?
On Inkmasters.
Yeah, you're testing the boundaries of artistry. And do I think it's fair? No, but I think it's cool. And I only think it's cool because I feel like luckily I'm more multifaceted than a lot of people. So like for me, it wasn't really a challenge, and it was exciting because I knew that a lot of people weren't capable. So it was like a one-up, as far as competition is concerned. But some of it is very, very out of this world. Like, it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, oh no. That I walked off a few times. Like, I'm not fucking doing this. I walked off.
All right, so I want to try something that I know Zach is gonna like, and I think a lot of the viewers who watch you on Inkmasters will appreciate this. Let's play around a fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
So you got to fuck someone from the show, marry someone from the show, and kill someone.
Oh shit.
Damn, I didn't know that was coming.
Okay.
All right. Damn, I'm about to hurt some feelings.
Yeah, that's what we like. Bring the drama.
Shit. And I mean, obviously, it's very inevitable that I fuck, marry, and kill women. So that's kind of my thing. So, fuck. Oh God.
Great, Tone. Good
Bryce,
one.
you
Tone.
better be posting pictures of these pics.
Yo.
I want to see who you're talking about too.
All
So
right.
give me the name.
I would
I'm Googling.
probably fuck Jess, marry Charlene, kill Sydney.
Oh,
Sydney.
Sydney, that bitch.
He's going down.
Sydney, that bitch.
Oh shit.
There's the drama.
And you can't really tell us why right now, right?
Nah.
Nah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, you'll see.
Yo, Jozzy, like earlier in your career and growing up, like how much did you idolize Inkmasters, and how surreal did it feel to finally get on the show? And
In the beginning of my career, I remember. Well, let's just start here, right? Like growing up in Poughkeepsie, it's very small here. It feels almost impossible to get out of here. You know what I mean? I didn't really come from, a family with money. I didn't come from a lot of structure. And nobody was really doing anything with their life. So I feel like that idea of Inkmaster, or even just being successful in general, was so like out of my reach. So I mean, you watched it. It was the only TV show at the time, and you're just like, damn, like I wonder what those people feel like, And to actually do it at this point in my career, like I'm kind of glad that it happened now and not earlier, because I think my lack of confidence and self-esteem wouldn't have gotten me as far as I got, And it took me years to build that and to just be very comfortable within myself and my skills. So it's still mind-blowing, like this is going to be the first year that Inkmaster airs internationally. So usually it's just US. It's going to we're touching over 80 countries this year.
That's fire.
Wow.
So I was also there for the anniversary of the 200th episode. So it's
wow,
it feels
Very surreal.
Yeah, it feels very enlightening. It's humbling. It's pretty dope.
congratulations.
Thank you so
Shit
much.
is insane.
Thank you.
We're
Yeah,
super happy
it's
for
so
you.
cool.
Thank you so much.
We talked about it
Blessed.
right before off camera, but what is the actual experience like compared to what you thought it was going to be like before you got on? What was your perception of it? And then now that you've actually done it, what was different?
I mean, I've known a few people who've been on, so I've heard like the horror stories, and then I've heard the like, well, it really wasn't that bad for me, so I did think that it was gonna be more art versus reality. And I think that that's just a conception of being a watcher of TV. When you watch reality TV, especially competitive shows, like you see the drama and you're like, but you really think that they're like, this is more of a competition than it is TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hated it for the first 2 weeks. I wanted to go home. I wanted to quit. It's very mentally fucking draining, but it's a game. And as soon as you learn how to play it, it becomes a lot easier.
What'd you learn about yourself being on the show?
I learned that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was, mentally especially, and that if I apply myself, I can naturally be diligent and I can be very resilient to kind of any situation. And I know that now that you can put me in any room with any kind of people, under any circumstance or pressure, and like, even if I don't win, I'm gonna survive.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's enlightening to it's that growth of like self-love and just like reassuring yourself.
You always got to go through weird shit to figure that out.
The
about
oddest
yourself.
things, like not sleeping for 2 months was crazy for me to be like, you love yourself. Like you're a good person.
Called delusion.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I was
Mad
delusional.
funny.
Like,
Do you have any regrets that you did on the show?
I do. I regret that the most. I feel like that I wish that I didn't abide by the canvas so much. And I wish that I didn't do the ask, and I learned.
Can you break that down?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I learned that, like, obviously there's a challenge, right? So if they tell you today is going to be full color, you have to tattoo a pigeon, full color. I don't do color, but the truth is that, like, that's usually what the canvas is asking for. The canvas is like, I want a skull with a building coming out of the top, and I want it in all color. Me, like, I feel like I would just be like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. But the truth is I have the option to manipulate that. I can tell you, like, well, how about if we do it my way in black and gray? And this is really my style. And I could really hook this up for you. I would just be like, nah, like, I feel like I'm going to get better recognition if I try to meet the challenge. And instead, I kind of stump myself on that,
Interesting.
throughout a lot, instead of like where there would be other artists who would be like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to make that my style.
Yeah, that would have been. I like your thought on that.
Yeah.
I think that would have been dope if they were like, do it full color, and you're like, yeah, fuck you. This
right.
is my pigeon.
But
Exactly. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, I'm going to impress the judges more by meeting the challenge.
right.
And instead, like, I stumped myself where other people didn't do the ask, but they produce a better tattoo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
it was conflicting for me. So
Right.
I feel like in my mind, I think I do regret that most, because I feel like if I would have showcased more of myself in those tattoos, that I would have probably succeeded more. I would have gotten more recognition. I would have been more noticed. I wouldn't have went through like the trials of the up and down the way that I did throughout the entire competition. So
Interesting.
Jozzy, do you have your kind of like most proud work that you did on the show? I don't know if you can tell us or not, but
I do.
the piece.
I do. I can't tell you the piece. But I did. There was a tattoo that I did get tattoo of the day for. So
Nice.
which is
Yeah,
a
let's
pretty
go.
cool deal in that space, and we're all kind of doing the same theme, and there's one artist that comes above everyone. So it was pretty dope, especially because I spent a large majority of that time being kind of low scale, low bottom scale. So it was I was surrounded by hitters, like, really talented.
That probably feels really cool to be around the greats.
Yeah, man. There's some legends in there. There was people in there that have been tattooing 18, 19 years, 20 years. So like, and more than anything, there's people that were super multifaceted in spaces that I'm not. I haven't really touched color in probably like 7 years. So like, when I went there, I probably should have prepared myself before I went there, and I didn't. I was just like, I can do it. Like, but again, you're on a fucking time bracket. Everything is 6 hours, like, and you got to get it done and be creative and be better than everyone else who does color full time.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's hardest.
Yeah.
So this season is going to air globally,
Yes.
right? When is that?
November 1st.
November 1st.
November 1st. What do you think that's going to do to your business?
One of the biggest reasons why I decided to go on was because I want to put the people that work with me in a better position more than me,
Oh, I like that.
And I feel like I have tattooers that work with me that are newer, but they're like killers, and we're just in such a bad economical space where tattoos really aren't a necessity right now. So people who do have money, they're holding on to it. You don't need a tattoo, you want one. So I hope that it brings out those people that have the extra money to be able to put it into their pockets so they can get better. They can work more. They can get larger at their scale, and they can be just as popular, if not more. Like, I wish somebody would have put me in that position. So that's really all I want.
That's awesome. I like
you.
that. That's like, mission over commission
Yeah.
statement right there.
For sure.
And we appreciate that.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yo, you're not related to a Kayla Camacho, are you? Mm-hmm. No shit. Little Spanish girl?
That's my cousin.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I used to work with her in Manhattan.
No shit.
What?
Yeah.
I got to take a picture with you. Well, we're about to take a picture.
You're gonna take it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Try to get your picture now, Tom.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Where'd you work in Manhattan?
I was working for this music producer / artist.
Tony's got the secret life now. Yeah, okay.
It was
What is going on?
it was
Nah,
before the dating show.
Yeah,
It should
yeah.
be. Yo, it was that guy Lou that I told.
Nah,
Bryce knows
Tone, I
about
knew.
him.
I'm just fucking
we
around.
knew
I don't
about
know shit about you.
Back when I went to, I was going to the
Back
Fashion
when he went
Institute.
to FIT, bro.
I went to
Did you know
FIT.
that, Zach?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm about to leave,
Not
bro.
for fashion.
I swear to God.
I went there because they had a community college program, and I was like, "There's so many bitches down here. I'm going to fashion school."
Yo, it was
Yo, I
probably
don't know
lit,
nothing
right?
about
Yeah,
you,
it was
dog.
cool. I had a girlfriend the whole time.
Yeah, fashion school.
So,
you should
like,
fucking.
she
You
was
should go back to fashion
senseless.
school.
I was,
Yo.
I'm fucking
I
none.
was mad stupid back then,
Fucking
doing
senseless.
mad dumb shit. But it was cool. We used to work for this guy. He never paid us a penny, and we learned nothing. So it was great.
It's the experience.
All right, Jozzy. So let's talk about yourself a little bit. First question is, what got you into tattooing?
Yeah, I want to know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, out of high school, I was actually supposed to go to the culinary. I had a scholarship to go to the culinary. But my life was kind of a little messy. I was like everywhere I shouldn't have been. I was living a life that I probably shouldn't have been. 16, 17, and dropped out of high school. And,
Where'd you go to high school?
Poughkeepsie. I went to Poughkeepsie High School.
Local.
Yeah, and I just got involved in the wrong shit, a lot of street shit, you know what I mean? And I just didn't have the discipline to be able to go to college, especially not for the culinary. That shit was like the military of food.
Yeah.
So
Wait, you said you had a scholarship
I
too
had a
to go there?
scholarship,
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
I dropped out of high school high honors. Like I didn't drop out of high school because I was stupid. It just,
Yeah.
it was like, so.
How do you get a scholarship? You like hook up a sick dish, and they're like, "Yo,
No, I had a crazy high GPA, and I got like plugged in through like teachers and stuff. They all wrote my reference letters, and
that's dope."
it was pretty cool.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty dope. But yeah, I ended up dropping the scholarship. I dropped out of high school. I got my GED like 10 days later. And then I was like in the streets and shit. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be this person. You know, like I hate it here actually. And I was like, what can make me this kind of money quick? Like, and I was getting tattooed already. I started getting tattooed at like 15, 16. So this guy came to my house and he was like a fiend and he tattooed me and he fucked it up so bad. And I was just like, oh God, I can do this. Like I can do this better. You know what I mean? I always drew. I always did art. I was always into it. But it was one of those things that just seemed far out of my reach. When I was younger, like, what was there, like 2 tattoo shops here? You know what I mean? It was like Planet New York and Graceland. Like that was it. You know what I mean? So to go get an apprenticeship was impossible. Nobody would take me. So
I think even in the last 10, 15 years, tattoos have become way more popular too.
it's wild.
20 years
Way
ago,
more
nobody was getting them unless you were
Wild.
badass. you
Yeah,
know?
like literally you rode motorcycles.
Yeah,
You know what I
that was
mean?
it.
So like it was very like nobody wanted to share it. It was a secret. Like if you did want a tattoo, it was like you either had to pay like $30K, which I didn't have at the time, to like get an apprenticeship, or you would have to like buy books and shit. So like it wasn't accessible at all.
Yeah.
So what year were you like 15 or 16 when you started like getting tattooed? Just for
What year? I am 31, so
Okay, so-
16 years ago was
so early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah.
Damn,
so,
you well, I guess you dropped out.
so I
dropped
think
out at 16.
so. I think it's interesting because like a lot of these like we know a lot of mural painters and people in that world. Like it's interesting to see those skill sets like go from like street to like mainstream, right? So you've kind of been on the forefront of that, seeing it, right? Like there wasn't that many tattoo shops. Now it's like highly popularized, and now everyone wants your services, right?
It's so wild. It's wild to see how fast things grow, and it's everything, right? But like to see, like, you know, something that was more, people didn't really like it. I remember when I was in school, like I was considered goth because I had all the piercings and the tattoos, and it's just like fast forward 2 years later, it's just like everybody's lined up outside my studio.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? To get a
yeah.
tattoo by me for $20. So like, it's kind of wild to see how that transitions so quickly, and how crazy social media can push those things as well. But I started tattooing in my house. I would tattoo like all my friends, and I was terrible. I was fucking everything up, everything and everyone.
That's not funny.
So bad. And then I kind of just like started getting into like, I got good enough to where I can get into like street shops, like really shitty street shops. My dad owned a barber shop, and he like busted out the back of it and opened up like a tattoo studio on the back of it.
Wow.
And I kind of was just back there doing my thing.
Wait, what barbershop?
He owned my actual Dream Chasers was originally his barbershop.
Ah.
So it was a barbershop before, and then he got in trouble and he went to jail. So the barbershop closed, and I ended up opening up a tattoo studio there like 2-3 years later.
Ah.
So that was pretty cool. And yeah, I kind of bounced around. I didn't really get good or I feel like known around here until I worked at Black Cherry with Ken Fleck.
When you started tattooing, did you know right away, like, wow, I want to do this? Like it was instantly you fell in love?
It was the only thing I never quit. You know, I literally, everything I start, I quit. It's just a bad habit that I have of mine. And it was the only thing that I felt like I had to touch these lengths. I was just like, well, I got this now I got to do this. I got to be better at this. And then like, I couldn't quit. You know what I mean? And I just felt like then that meant something.
Yeah.
If it feels like I don't want to give up, then I should probably stick at it.
And so when you started at Black Cherry, you started your own spot first.
No. I started at like street shops. So my dad had the barber shop, which I tattooed in there. And then I don't know if you know Dizelle Green. He opened up a shop on Academy. We kind of opened it together. And we had that spot for like a year or two. Then I went to Black Cherry.
Got it.
I went to Black Cherry, and that was kind of where my structure came from. It's where I learned how to deal with real clients and like, you know, being more professional and more thought out. And
Running the business?
no, I would just work for him as an employee, but he charged me percent and rent at that time, so that was like insane for someone who had just started tattooing. But it made me be more professional. He taught me everything about the core of tattooing. It's not just about artistry, but there's a whole other side of this is what makes it a functional business.
So this is like your schooling.
He was like my mentor. He went out of his way to kind of like change the way that I viewed things. And I feel like that was so detrimental at that time in my life, you know? And I feel like the way that he was with me was very strict and very stern, but it was weird because I was very like, fuck it back then. Like, I don't need this, you know? But instead it was just like, nah, like I kind of, it was something that I feel like I craved, and he filled that void for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he played a big role in the beginning to help you.
He played like the largest role, I feel like, in the tattooer
He
that
was
I
your
am today.
sensei.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he's a huge part of who I am. I think that he not only taught me a lot about myself and being an artist, but he also taught me the fundamentals of tattooing that no one knows anymore. I can build machines and make needles, and I can make my own pigments. Like that, people don't know that shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that that's gold.
Yeah. How much has the needles and everything changed since you got in the industry?
Everything. Like back then, like I would make needles until my fingers bled, and they were in like a long bar, and then the end tip you'd have to solder a bunch of small needles together. And now they just come in like a little cartridge. And they're all like just pop into your motorized machine. But back then, like you'd be in the middle of a tattoo and your machine just stops working. At the end of the day, it's like a doorbell, right? It's like a circuit. A piece of metal doesn't connect the right way. The whole thing, I take the whole thing apart in the middle of a tattoo.
And fix it, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people can't do that. So it's I feel like that's gold information.
So how long were you at Black Cherry before you went out on your own?
I was at Black Cherry for 2 years. I moved to Florida, stayed in Florida for like 2-3 months, came back, stayed there for like another year, went back to Florida, and stayed there for like a year, came back, and he wouldn't rehire me the third time. He was like, I can't keep letting you do this. You got to figure it out on your own. 5 months later, I opened up Dream Chasers.
Damn. So, yo, Jozzy, you're obviously goated. Like, you know, Inkmasters, right? All the work that we've seen on Zach that you've done is like literally like I've never seen better work.
Thank you so much.
When was that moment that you were like, okay, it went from like the grind to like, yo, I'm literally goated out here?
I never felt goated. I'll be honest with you. That's like a kind of what I mentioned in the last part was it took me a while to get that confidence, you know, and to be like, damn, like you're pretty fucking good at this, you know? And again, it's so small out here. So
what about the first celebrity you did or something that really like that external, you know, what is it called when it's like external, like reciprocation of like, okay, the validation.
Validation, yeah.
I think the validation really came from me when I started doing conventions. And I was like on the road for like 2 years. I was at a convention every weekend in a different city, 4 fucking cities a month. And I think getting the recognition from like sponsors and winning trophies up against like better artists, you know what I mean? It was just like, damn, like I can take this shit further than Poughkeepsie. You know what I mean? Like I can, if I really work hard at this, like maybe I can get this sponsorship, maybe I can get this guest spot with this famous artist. And I feel like that's where it was just like the more recognition I got in the actual industry was kind of like, fuck, like I can do this.
Yeah. What
When did the money get really good?
The money got really good, I feel like, when I got to New York City. I do feel like I did really well while I was here when I had my own studio. But the cost of living at that time was so low that I probably felt better. You know what I mean? So like I was paying $800 for like this fire ass loft apartment on fucking Union Bend.
I miss those days.
On Union Bend with everything included.
You lived in the Union Bend apartments?
I lived in Union Bend.
Me and every one of my brothers did.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So like, and it was so dope. You know what I mean? And that was kind of a big deal. And $800 was like, it was a lot of money.
I remember I had a 3-bedroom in there for $1,600. It was massive.
I lived right across the street from the parking lot. There's like a building that stands alone.
Yeah,
right
I
there
own the building next to it, the
No
brick one.
No shit.
Yeah, that's like I own one of the buildings. There's like 3 buildings in between the Union Bend buildings.
Dope. Okay. So I
we
was
just bought another one.
nice.
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah. We just bought one across the street.
Congratulations. You were telling me about this.
On Delano.
Literally right there.
I fucking love that neighborhood.
It feels like you're not in Poughkeepsie. It's so odd.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very different over there.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then you got Rossi's.
Oh my
I
god.
had Rossi's yesterday.
The only time I never like feel guilty about spending $38 on a sandwich.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm
Ross is
never.
different.
Shout out to Ross.
Shout out. If you're ever going to Poughkeepsie, you got to go to Ross.
Sponsor
Gotta
me.
go. Best Italian food in the area.
Best fucking in the world.
Yo.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Who are the top celebrities that you've tattooed?
I tattooed. I don't know if you guys know him. I mean, he's a celebrity in his world. You know, Mayer. His name is Mayer. He is like the goat of sneakers. Like he rents his sneakers to celebrities.
Damn.
It's
What did you just say to
it's
me?
a
Rents?
thing. Like literally, bro. He has the biggest sneaker collection in all of the world.
Wow.
So, and he has things that you could never get your hands on. I'm talking about people will rent sneakers from this dude for $15,000 an hour, just for music videos, for props, for fucking commercials. It is
you just
wild.
step on my shoe, dog. Be careful. That's a rental.
That's like literally, bro. I tattooed him. I worked for Inked magazine, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when my boss at the time was trying to give me the celebrities, like I didn't want it. They don't pay. They don't like to pay for tattoos.
Because the clout, they just want to post
Yeah,
you.
but like fuck you.
You know, the people with the most money don't want to pay. Yo,
They don't want to pay for
God.
shit, and it's
Yeah.
just like, and then they sit like shit, and their ideas suck. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yo, I want a clock with some clouds and a dove, and I'm just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. And you don't want to pay me, and you want me to use numb cream while you smoke weed and blow that shit in my face? Fuck you, bro. Like, no, I don't want it.
Oh my God, I love that.
I don't
take.
want it.
Fuck the celebrities.
Fuck the celebrities, bro. Like I'd rather literally like, I've tattooed some like an NFL dude. I don't really watch sports. I don't remember him, but I know he was pretty popular.
Do you know his name?
That's
I
Eli
don't-
Manning.
No.
I don't. Gave him a tat.
Give him a tat of a
Soccer
math
players, like shit like that.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not really into sports, so I don't know. But yeah, dude, I'd rather tattoo like the low key lawyer who's like tatted from like, you know, the collarbone down. Yeah. He's like
Nothing showing.
he's the guy that tips and invites you over on Thanksgiving. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's the cool guy.
Yeah. What was your first tattoo?
This is my
yourself.
first tattoo.
What's your favorite tattoo?
My favorite tattoo is probably my stomach. I got like a portrait of my grandparents on my stomach.
That's dope.
It's pretty
If you're
fucking.
willing to share it, we'd like to see it. But if you don't want to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that's understood.
Go for it.
Sean, you got it?
That's dope.
There you go. Nice. Now, who's your
so
tattoo artist
real.
that you usually go to?
I feel like at this point, I'm more of a collector.
Got
Right?
it.
I thought like growing,
That's dope.
I was more of like I thought I had an idea how I wanted my bodysuit to look,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm more of just a collector. Like whether it's from friends or just people that I just really like their shit. You
Got
know?
it.
So I have one person mostly that does just my portraits.
Mm-hmm.
He did this one on my forearm. Like he just really does good portraits.
Got it.
But now like I just got a piece on my ribs that I probably would have never planned to have. But like I love her work. I love her style. I love the way that she makes things look. So I was like, I think I want to have one of those. You know, more of a collector vibe. And
For those who don't know, what's your style of tattooing? What do you usually do?
Black and gray realism. I do a lot of lettering, calligraphy, hand style shit. You know, and I feel like I've been blessed as fuck to be able to do the calligraphy stuff for sure.
That's so funny you do lettering because, you know, obviously the work I know of yours is all his, and he doesn't have any lettering at all. It's all realism on him, and it looks so fucking sick. Makes me want to get a tattoo.
I spent most of my career doing black and gray realism. It wasn't until I got into New York and I was able to really get more creative. You know what I mean? And be able to like put that calligraphy on people or do that lettering on people.
So Jozzy has done, let's actually count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of my tattoos, all big. And I'm going to tell a story about one of the tattoos that I think I told on a podcast
Did
about
you
my
ever
ribs.
tell her the one when you?
Oh my God, I fucking called her on the way home screaming.
Fucking screaming.
No,
Yeah.
no. What about when you got home and you started pounding shots?
Yeah, I told her about that in the morning. I texted her in the morning about it.
Out of pocket, bro.
Yo, I saw a picture of it the other day. That shit was so, my right side of my body was like 3 inches out because of that tattoo. But anyway, I got a rib tattoo. And actually, let me show it. I got this tattoo. And, is it man camera? Okay. I got that tattoo. And I tell Jozzy, I'm like, listen, I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but I could sit through some tattoos. I've sat through some big ones. But I told her, like, hey, I want to use numbing cream because I'm getting 10 hours on my rib, on my fucking nipple. My nipple's blacked out, my hip, everything. So I'm like, I want numbing cream. She's like, all right, I got you. We get there, puts the numbing cream on. Great. Does the tattoo. The numbing cream worked, but not that crazy. Like, it really wasn't worth it enough.
And I'm already skeptical about numbing creams. If
Yeah,
I can
you didn't
avoid
even want me to do it.
I did. I'm very like, you don't know what someone's allergic to until they're allergic to it. You know what I
And
mean?
there's the foreshadowing. So I do the whole tattoo. It's fine. It hurt, but it was fine. And then on my way home, I had an allergic reaction to the numbing cream, a chemical reaction.
Chemical.
And when I tell you, it was a 13 out of 10 pain. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I get my tattoos in the city, which is about an hour and a half from where I live. And I was going, can I say it? Fuck it, we'll say. I was going like 130 driving down Taconic in my truck.
And pull you over now?
I call up Jozzy, I'm screaming. I'm like, what the fuck? Everything hurts. I got back to my
Scream.
girlfriend's
I couldn't even
outside.
understand him on the phone. Like,
Yeah.
oh, slow down.
Yeah, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was bugging out. And then, I got home and took some pills that made me go to sleep and forgot about it. But anyway, I had a chemical reaction to a tattoo, and it was the worst experience of my life.
Pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
I was like,
Scale of
oh.
1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being your best. Where's this guy land on your scale of sitters? Him sitting.
He's a strong 8.5 for sure.
Give me
That's pretty good.
He's a good sitter.
He gets like fidgety. It's not even that he's like in pain, but by like hour 3, like he wants to move around.
Yeah, he's a little bitch.
No, it's not a pain thing. He doesn't like sitting that long.
Yeah,
so
of
we'll
course.
get up and then we'll take a shot and we'll lay back
Yeah,
down.
always.
Can't sit down ever.
Yeah, bro.
This kid's
Yeah,
always
and I
fucking
get it
doing
though because I'm
something.
the same way. So like I kind of know how to work with him. Like, and I'll like in my mind, like if I'm doing something like a freehand on him or some shit, I'm like, let me fucking like outline this because by hour 3.5, he's just like, yeah. So I was thinking, I was like, okay. Alright.
Yo, now that I know
bro,
you
I
do
sit
lettering,
for 7-8 hours though. They're
He
fucking
will.
big tattoos.
that's
He
crazy.
will.
I don't go get a
I
2-hour
couldn't sit
tattoo
for
is the issue.
It's always big.
Yeah.
Like even the inside of his thigh, it was like, and sometimes I'll tap out on him too. Though I'm like, bro, like I'm fucking seeing circles.
Yeah, I
like,
come back. I'm like, yo, Jozzy tapped up, bro. What's it?
like I'm over this. Bro.
Yeah.
You
Yo, I
tired?
need you to fix a tattoo for me. It's like the only tattoo I've ever gotten. It's for my dad. I got the wrong fucking date on it.
Wait, what?
No, you don't, bro.
Yes, I do.
What is all this shit I'm finding out about you,
It's got
bro?
the wrong day on it.
He is
it's off
upset.
by 1 day.
What is? Which
Where's the
one?
day?
The day he died.
11/24.
So listen, when my dad passed away, we had these cards made, and for some reason, half of them had the wrong date on it. So he passed away. I went to a tattoo shop, and I was like, I finally have a good enough reason
What
to get a
tattoo
tattoo.
shop was it?
Couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
No fucking idea.
Got it.
Somewhere in Wappingers by that bank over
Graceland,
there.
probably.
I have no idea.
No, it was off the chain.
Maybe.
Yeah.
By Wells Fargo?
I work. It was coming down the hill. Like when
When
you
you come down the hill, yeah, and you make the right.
right before you get on the bend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked there for like a week.
it was you. Fix it.
Fuck.
No, but I fucking handed them the card. I was like, I want this here. And they did it. And then like a week later, I'm at a bar and I'm like showing it off to my brothers. And one of my brothers was like, this is the wrong fucking day. I was like, yeah, okay.
Bro, what?
It really fucking is.
What's the date that's on it?
What does it say? 23?
No, move your finger. It says 11/24/11.
It's supposed to be 23.
That's gonna be hard to change.
Yeah, you can't fix that.
A little bit.
Jozzy won't do cover up either. I asked her one time and she
You
said,
don't
fuck
fix
no.
shit?
Fuck
No?
Yeah.
I would have to draw on you to see if I could make it work, but there's a possibility it's going to show underneath for sure.
Whatever. I actually don't want to fix it. By fixing, I meant let's fucking. It's all fucking faded now.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad though. I've seen worse.
Haha, Jozzy said my tattoo's nice. I'm cool.
I'm trying to think too. What was the first one did on me? I think the owl. This one was when I turned 18. So yeah, I've been getting tattooed by you for 7 years now. Too.
Zach, how did you meet Jozzy?
How the fuck did we meet? Through my sister somehow.
Through your sister, really?
I thought so. Well,
I thought it was through Kim.
No, because I stopped talking to Kim when I was young. I dated Kim in like 6th grade. I was 12, 11, whatever you are in 6th grade. We stopped talking in like 8th grade. How long have you been talking to Jamie?
Me and Jamie were together for almost 10 years. So
Maybe. I'm trying to think. Do you remember how we met?
it was either your sister or I tattooed somebody that you knew.
Yeah, I think it was my sister. And then I came in to get the owl. That was when I turned 18. I got the owl. But
Who?
the owl. Hoo.
Jozzy,
so what is?
Asshole.
I was gonna say, Jozzy, what's your like top like famous tattoo artist inspo? Like, who's your like Mount Rushmore?
Huh. That's actually shifted like throughout the years. And my favorite tattooers now, I think in my career, like aren't really famous. They're kind of like, most of them don't even use Instagrams, which is like dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think being able to step away from that platform.
Shout them out. They're gonna watch
Yeah,
this.
I mean, a lot of them are either European or South American. Libro, which is like one of my favorite lettering artists right now. I believe he's from Brazil. Sam Taylor is probably my all-time favorite lettering artist. He is insane. He like does his lettering like Bible scripture work. Like it's very detailed and ornamental. I think it's so fucking cool. Black and gray, it jumps around for me. I don't know. Like I don't know anymore. Like when I was younger, I think the people that I liked, I didn't like them because of their skill. I liked them because everybody else liked them.
Yeah.
And now it's more like I'm just impressed by like what you do. You know what I mean? If I see something like that's a cool tattoo.
You got any like hidden graffiti in Poughkeepsie that did you used to do that or no?
No, I didn't really start getting into murals until I got out of Poughkeepsie, really.
Oh, really?
I did canvases while I was here, but the mural thing kind of started when I got into the city. I think just the network of meeting people, it was easier to have that.
So you've done murals in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, all over like the Lower East Side, which was kind of like a huge pivotal for my career, which is dope.
That's so dope.
That's
So
cool.
Yeah.
We went to a mural festival in Akumal, Mexico, and filmed some really, really high level people. We went there last year, Sean? Yeah, super dope. We kind of fell in love with it at that point, and obviously there's a kind of a big culture of mural artists in Poughkeepsie, and
For sure.
so
I see you have like
we got Boogie on the wall.
she's like family.
Oh, that's dope.
She's like family. I've known her and Rez for shit. Rez used to be like best friends with my father.
Oh, no doubt.
So like I've known him since I was a kid.
That used to be on our set. We had that one, and there was another one that you took down, but that used to be.
Yeah, I have
on our
three. I have
podcast,
three murals that were done a long time ago by Boogie. I just hit her up and hit Rez up, and right before we did the Damon John episode with Zach and Tony, and I was like, yo, I need some sick art. Like I need some stuff, and he was like, yo, just pull up. He took me to the basement of their crib, and like they just had tons of stacks of panels of art that she did.
Yeah, she's insane.
Yeah,
man.
wild.
Her brain and the way that it works
Wild.
is very it's wild, bro.
Those people are fascinating.
So my first wall mural that I just did in Manhattan, go figure. I pull up to the location and she has the whole fucking building. It's all her shit.
Oh,
I'm just like,
no, that's competition.
I'm like,
right
oh,
there.
fucking course, bro. You know what I mean? Like, but I'd rather share a wall with her than anybody. You know what I mean? But I get there and I'm like, look, I'm like, I fucking know this work. So I get like just like a door. It's like this cool door that's like in. You know what I mean? So it's pretty dope. But in that door, like on the outside of it, it's the whole building. So I walk up and I'm just like, I know this shit. I fucking walk through the side of the building. I step back. I see the initials in the bottom. I'm like, this is nuts, bro.
Such a
Wild.
dignified style,
Yeah,
right?
man, it's so noticeable and it's so her. Like if you ever had a conversation with her and you hear the way that she talks, it's like it's just as like, you know, like spark driven as
Oh
she
my
is.
God,
You know
I
what I
completely
mean?
agree.
Yeah.
She's such a light energy though, and it feels good to share space with her. It feels good to watch her create and to see the way her mind works and the way that she breaks things down. Like Rez used to do like a lot of photo shoots with me too. We used to do like a lot of cool shit. Before they knocked down that asylum, he
Yeah.
brought me in there. We did like he used to
Oh,
do like
yeah.
a lot of levitation shit, and we did some cool shoots like back in the day, which was dope.
I used to love going to that asylum.
Yeah, it was wild.
So you've accomplished, I'm assuming, a lot of things that you set out to being a tattoo artist. You've grown, you're killing it. You've been in the city for 7 years now. How long have you been tattooing? 12 years? 13 years?
Like 11, 12 years. I think I'm coming up on my 12th year.
Okay. What is the future for you now? Now that you've been on the show, that's obviously releasing in a week or so, and you've done a lot of things you wanted to do. What's the future?
Right now I really want to tap into clothing. I kind of want to, it's something that I've always been super passionate about. I love fashion, and I kind of want to put my artwork and mix it in together. So I have something coming really soon, so I'll be excited to share that with you guys.
Can you
Okay.
dress me?
I can dress you.
He
No,
needs something.
I need it.
Yeah?
He's bad.
Oh my god.
Really? You came here with the shirt on
my-
today?
Today
My-
is his best. Today
Listen,
is
I
the
like
best
You
the
know
look.
why? Because I
That-
asked my fiance to dress me.
Yeah?
I'm like a 6-year-old.
He gets his shirts from
T-shirt and a-
Target.
and yeah, I don't give a fuck what I'm wearing, but lately I'm like, yo, I need to start dressing.
It feels good. When you look good, it feels
I'll
good.
be your canvas.
I love that. I would love that.
Make me look sexy.
You need a lot of help.
All right, I
got
got
you.
questions about the business
Let's do it.
because I'm so not an artist. I can't fucking, I don't know. I can't even spell my fucking name. What is the current structure of the business, right? You have a shop, I assume. You own it. You own the space, actually. You rent it.
I rent it.
Okay. And people are working under you. What do they rent? Chairs from you? How does this work?
So I originally opened the space just to be have a private studio. I was kind of tired of working for everyone, and I was just like, I want to do this myself. And, I opened up a space that I knew that I could afford by myself. Within like the first month of opening it up, it was like I had a homie that needed a spot, so I was like, yo, I got space. And then a few months after that, it's like another homie was like, yo, you got a spot? Like, actually I do. Like, come on. Like, actually ended up hiring my old boss. Then after that, it was just like friend after friend, you know? Or it became a space where homies would come into town and have a place to work. Now I did not want a functioning tattoo shop. And I feel that I learned that through my first experience, that I didn't want to be responsible for anyone. So you come and go as you please. You control your own clients. I'm not responsible for getting you any clients. Like, you pay rent for your space. I supply you everything. You come here, you do what you want. You come and go.
What is everything?
Everything is literally anything disposable besides machine and needles. Literally, like, you don't have to worry about anything. Right now,
Wow.
like, any tattoo shop in New York City, if you go work at it, they're not going to pay for your gloves. I pay for your gloves. You know what I mean? Like,
Fire.
the price of gloves went up almost 200% after COVID. It's expensive. People go through gloves. I can bust out a box of gloves in one day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So that shit adds up. Like,
of course.
all plastic, all disposable things became more expensive after COVID just because of it. So, but I supply all of it. It's cool. Like, you come in here, we have a vibe. We chill. Like, and it's we're all friends too.
Yeah.
So it's all people that I've either worked with before or I've just known for years. So like, it's a chill environment.
I
It's
like
just-
that. That sounds like a laid back vibe.
Yeah,
it's not
like,
so
Your
you know-
spot's
businessy.
I love your spot.
so you're
and
spending-
it's huge for a fucking spot in the city.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's just you basically. You go in there, it's like the size of this fucking studio.
yeah,
And it's all glass windows. It's fucking great to get tattooed there.
So other than having your spot set up right, you're not spending a lot of time working on the business. You're working in the business. How
Yeah.
many hours a week are you spending tattooing?
I probably tattoo 4 or 5 days a week. Max would be 12-hour days. Minimum would be 4-hour days. I've gotten to a point in my career where I just do 1 tattoo a day. So that's pretty dope. Sometimes you'll go in there and it'll just be me in there for a week straight. Sometimes you go in there and have all 4 artists working and you can hardly move around. So like, it's cool. Like, I get to vibe, but I also get to be alone. I get to chill if I want by myself. And then sometimes it's just like, you want that social. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What
And
are
you stay steady busy?
For the most part, like, I try not to book myself out too far, believe it or not. I don't like that, like, that feeling of like restriction. You know?
Right, like you're owned by your clients.
Yeah, and I like to travel, so that's like my thing. That's what
That's
I love to
fire.
do.
Now, if you wanted to be busy forever, you could be because of your popularity now.
Yeah, but like I mentioned to you before, I feel like tattooing's in a weird space. I feel like I've had points in my career where I was busier by nature. Like, I would literally like kind of get aggravated with my emails. You know what I mean? It's like every time
Interesting.
I refresh, it's like 86 new inquiries. I'm just like, oh my God, like this is a
Holy
lot,
shit.
you know, where it's like, it's slowed down, but I maintain really well. Yeah.
Good.
What
Yeah.
are some of the annoying things people do when they get tattooed? Give me some horror stories.
Oh my
Or
God.
some tips for people if they're coming in.
You know, people, I think at this point, number one starter is like, you should seek out the person that you want to collect their style from. It is so fucking mind-boggling to me, and it's frustrating at this point that people will look at you and they'd be like, I want a tat. And they'll look at your work and they'll be like, send you a picture of what they want. I'm like, there's no way you think I could do that, right? Like, there's no way that you think I would want to. You know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like education when it comes to permanency is really important. It's a body modification. You should seek out the person that does the thing that you like, which is really important to why people end up 90% of the time with tattoos that they're not happy with. So, because you didn't, you know, and price shopping is, I feel like we're in a day and age where that's just not a thing anymore. You probably shouldn't. There's like three things you don't want to like price shop, right? Like your
I
dentist,
say that all the time.
your dentist, your doctor, and your tattoo artist,
Yeah.
and your barber. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, you don't. I'm gonna pay the price. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I have health insurance and I still pay cash to get my teeth cleaned just because I like the way that she does it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it's important. I need these. Like, but yeah. So I feel like that, and I feel like just eat and drink water. Take better care of your body. Don't go out and get hammered like Zach. You know what I mean?
Every
Like,
fucking time. Every fucking
don't go out and get
time.
hammered the day before and you come in like, I'm hungover, but I'm all right. I'm drinking electrolytes. Like, no.
And then
dude.
halfway through, I'm like, Jozzy, do you have tequila here, please? Every
Something.
time.
Like, I got some really weird whiskey over there. From
Yeah, the other one I just had was fire. They gave me some Japanese shit last time.
Yeah, so, but, you know, just, and take care of your tattoos.
So you said too before, you have people who aren't happy with the work, or you said 90% of people. The problem is that they go to the wrong tattoo artist.
For sure.
And then they're
I
not happy
get
with
that
their
though,
work.
because I feel like people wouldn't even know.
You
like,
wouldn't know.
You
Yeah.
think like me being as ignorant as well, not as much now after just having this quick conversation with you, but I would just think, oh, you go to a good artist, they can do whatever you want.
Right.
But that's not the case. They're good at, they have their strengths and their weaknesses.
Right,
Hold up
right,
now.
right.
Have you had horror stories where someone's done and they go, oh, I don't like this?
That's a good question.
I've spelled shit wrong, which is crazy because I spell really well. Like I spelled angel wrong. I put angle.
No.
So fucked up. It was so fucked up.
No.
And check this shit out. It was my second day at my new job. I was
And
like,
your last day?
luckily, I can draw letters, so you can turning the L into an E and the E into an L. Like it worked out kind of, but I didn't realize it until I went home. So I had to hit her on the sideline, like, yo, come back in, me. Just want to look at it. You know?
Sure you don't like geometry?
She didn't know?
She
didn't know?
She couldn't tell, and it was like on her stomach.
What the fuck?
Again, though, like at that point, I wasn't as good, so like she was price shopping. You know what I mean? So
How often do you mess up during the tattoo and realize and fix it?
like not. I'm being honest with you. It's been a while since I've pulled an error.
Yeah.
But luckily though, if I do something that I don't love in the midst of doing it, like I know how to alter it, or
Yeah.
cover it up. You know what I mean in that way. But there's never really a time where I'm just like, damn, you really fucked that up.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna see some shit on this TV show where you're just gonna be like, damn, Jozzy did that.
Yeah.
Fuck that up. Like you know what I mean?
Oh,
But
you were out of your element.
oh fuck yeah, I was doing shit that I don't do. You know
Right.
what I mean? So like again, if a client comes to me and they're like, yo, like I want you to do this color neo-traditional thing on me. And if I try to approach it, there's a possibility that it's not gonna come out great. Like I don't do that. You know what I mean? So I definitely think researching your artist is super fucking important. You should be diligent about that.
I've made that mistake before, going to a different tattoo artist early on when I was getting tattooed that didn't do what I wanted, and it didn't come out. Like
I was that uneducated person. I mean, I literally, most of my body is covered in trash. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's I didn't know any better. You don't know any better if you don't.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like now in today's world, like we have Instagram, which is crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
and you could see everything.
Yeah, we have Facebook and Twitter. Like that shit is really like, it's in your face now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I come and get tattooed by you, every time when you lay the stencil down, you're like, how's it look? I'm like, yeah, I have no fucking idea. Just do the tattoo and I'll tell you after. It still fascinates me. You ever seen the stencil of like a big ass piece and it just looks like Nothing.
Chaos.
Yeah, just
Not-
absolute chaos.
Especially the
Not
stuff that I
really.
do on you, it's
Yeah.
very like detailed. Like that
Yeah.
piece on your leg was very detailed. But
Yeah.
I feel like for me, that's one of the most important parts of doing realism
Mm-hmm.
is placement. You're doing faces, you have to be very mindful of the movement of the body and the curvature. You know what I mean? So like if I put a face on you that's too much on the edge, it's gonna look like the person is like cut in half.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Or like their nose is really big just
Ooh.
because of the movement.
I got a good question. You ever tattooed a dick, a penis?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was I've actually pierced one as well too, because I used to pierce back in the day. It was
I'm gonna throw up.
he wanted a smiley face on the head, so
On the head.
on the head. I think the worst part about it for me was holding it.
Did
know?
you have to
You have
numb it?
to.
I was like,
Did you have to numb it up?
no.
Bro, I could not have someone putting needles
Oh
in
my
dick.
god, it
Yeah.
fucking hurts
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, he was super pierced and tattooed, and he wanted a little smiley
And it had
face.
to be flaccid?
Yeah. I was just.
That is some shit.
Yo, that's
That
crazy.
is some shit.
Jozzy, I have a question. Is most of your work now like something that you, since it's realism, like something that you're drawing first and then you turn into stencil?
If it's something that I'm using as like photorealism, I'm gonna use the actual photo reference, and I'm gonna draw on top of that reference for the accuracy.
Oh, sick.
Like when it comes to like lady faces and the stuff that I like to do a lot, I alter a lot of that stuff. Like I alter like where the light source is coming from, or like lashes and lips and like cheekbone structure, just because I'm very comfortable with the way a face should move, you know, and how I like to see it look. So
Is that happening in the moment in the actual tattooing process, or like in the pre-production?
and usually in the pre-production, if I'm doing a lady face, I'm usually just picking like a pose. So really just like a movement, you know, or a hand movement. And by the time like I start fucking around on my iPad, like I kind of like, all right, I want the light to come from here because it's going to be on the inside of his leg, and I want the light to look like it's shining down. So I'll start to create more casted shadows, and everybody loves long eyelashes and plump lips and, you know, sharp noses. So that's kind of like the stuff that I'll draw in.
Like
Are you
Wonder
using-
Woman on Zach's leg? She's
Oh
hot.
yeah. Are you using Procreate? Do you use
It's Athena.
Procreate?
That's exactly what I use.
Okay, yeah. Now that's industry standard nowadays.
Yeah. I feel like it's easy. It's like I started out with Photoshop.
Yeah.
So and Photoshop is so complex of a program. But now I just feel like it's accessible to have your iPad and basically a very mini version of Photoshop.
That you
And
can write on, you know.
you
That's
can write
wild.
on. Yeah, I mean, I do like all of the writing and stuff I do right onto the skin.
Okay.
I draw a lot of the stuff that I do on the skin in general. Like
Yeah.
if I'm doing like flowers and leaves or octopus, like I don't know why I felt comfortable enough to do that, but I was like, this will make more sense if I draw it, and it should move with the body. You know, there's certain things that I feel like it's really important to me. My favorite thing about tattoos, when I look at them, is how they move with the body and how they're placed. It's just like something that's flowy and natural to the shape of someone's core is like it's attractive to look at. You know what I mean?
So Zach's octopus was drawn right on the body, no stencil.
I used a little bit of stencil for the head.
Yeah, for just the top piece.
That's the top
And
piece
then
of the
all
head.
the tentacles.
And then all the tentacles, yeah, I freehanded all of
Wow.
them. Yeah.
And it goes all over the place.
Show
We
it.
can show a
Wow.
picture of that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna take this
Wow.
off.
B-roll.
We'll do it. I'm gonna show. The intro's
Sean, can you
probably
throw
gonna be
some
me
B-roll up there
showing,
of his tattoo? Thank you.
intro? I'm probably gonna do all pictures of all of them. Mine.
Zach's gonna do the intro with no shirt on.
Perfect. Perfect.
I need
I was
a
just gonna ask a
tattoo.
question. Question I think a lot of people ask: what's the most painful spot to get tattooed, in your opinion?
I'd say my palm, hands down. And I have the pretty most gnarliest spots on my body covered. My feet, my ribs, my knees,
Palms,
my
huh?
armpits.
Shit.
My palm is the worst tattoo on my entire body, for sure.
Hurting?
It was so
Bro,
bad.
think about how many nerves you have there. This is
Yeah,
how you
I
grab
so
everything.
bad. Healed the quickest out of all my tattoos. Probably took like 2 days.
Wow.
Most painful on my body for sure. Like I said, I have my armpits done. Like
Damn, I
And-
cannot
Oh, the
imagine
armpit
that.
Yeah.
was bad.
inside, and I got the whole armpit done
Oh,
too. Inside,
my
like I got my ribs
God.
done all the way down to my hip, my stomach, my outside, inside of my knee. Like foot was pretty bad, but nothing was worse than the palm.
Speaking of weird places, we just had Tony's mom on. Tony, I don't know if you want to take this one.
Speaking of
Yeah,
weird
she
places,
just-
we just had Tony's mom on.
So my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer like 4 months ago.
I'm so
Stage
sorry.
0. No, stage 0. They caught it. She got a double mastectomy, both removed. and now they had to take her nipples too.
I'm sorry.
So when she gets it, thank you. She's good. She's completely cancer free now. I don't know if I mentioned that. But they're gonna reconstruct her breasts, and then she's gonna get tattooed nipples.
Yeah. And there's people who specialize in that.
Yeah.
Again, so before you let her go to anyone, there is people who do just mastectomy scars. Like, and I feel like, I mean, you know, you're taking the beauty of a woman when you take her breasts, you know, and you should definitely, whoever does it, like, make sure that they do it, you know? Like,
Come to you for the recommendation.
got you. I don't do them because it's color. You know?
Right.
We
But,
looked at pictures. It's wild.
it's wild,
They look
but
real.
it looks
Yeah.
awesome. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of women also not do the nipples, but actually just do like a full coverage of
Yeah.
like tattoo, which is dope too.
Yeah.
But she can definitely, there's some really good artists that can do that stuff like really well.
Yo, Tone, it's gonna be like one of those like chalk drawings on the sidewalk where you like go to grab it and like there's nothing there.
When it looks
No,
like
it's
a
actually,
thing.
I'm never going to go to grab it. I never want to see her nipple. So.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though, right?
Oh,
Like it's
shit.
not there, but it looks
Yeah.
hyper real. I
It
guess.
does. And it heals well and it looks normal. Like if you would have to get really close to be able to be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll definitely send you some really good artists.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What is your favorite, or you think the best tattoo you did on me?
The inside of your thigh, for
This
sure.
Marcus Aurelius?
Yeah,
Yo, that
that's
shit is crazy.
that's my favorite one on you. It used to be the owl for so long,
Yeah.
and then
This is the OG owl. This
yeah.
I've had forever. So.
and it's crazy because I feel like my style was a little bit different back then. I was going through like this negative space thing, and I was like really into it. And you kind of always let me get creative, so I always appreciate that. But now I'd say the inside of your thigh is probably my favorite piece on
Sure.
you.
Do
show
you
that
have
one
a
too.
favorite piece that you think of that you've ever done on someone?
It's probably any one of the I really enjoy doing like these lady faces with calligraphy mixed in, and I'm working on one right now on a client of mine. I've done like her whole leg of like lady faces, and I'm in the process of doing one on her. I'll send you guys a photo of it. It's
Yeah.
not fully finished, but it's definitely my favorite right now.
I'm doing something like that next. One of my next tattoos is going to be, what the hell is the name of it? I can't think of the style. I can't think of the name of it, but a woman. It's going to be a woman. Fuck, I can't think of the
A
name.
woman.
Pin up?
It's gonna be a
I
woman.
have a picture of it. But anyway, I'm doing the back of my calf. I just saw you did one, the back of somebody's calf. with-
Calligraphy?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did a woman and then calligraphy on the bottom, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do the calligraphy, but I saw the woman, and I think I'm going to do that next. Hold up.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
about
like
to
a
find-
modern tribal.
Like this kind of. What is it called? A pharaoh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
this
an
kinda.
Egyptian goddess?
Yeah, Egyptian thing.
Okay.
Maybe not the whole top head thing, but that kind of style.
It'll look nice on the back of a thigh. It'll fit nice. The back of a leg. Calf.
This whole leg is. I'm trying to do different cultures. Like I have Marcus Aurelius. I have Japanese samurai. I got a Athena, Greek goddess. So then another like pharaoh or whatever you call that. So
Yeah. Okay.
anyway, all right, Tony, you want to wrap it up with your last question?
Yeah. At the end of the day, what's your message to everybody out there?
I don't know if I want to give like the corny like don't ever stop believing speech. You know,
Oh, give it. We
You know,
fuck-
like-
Stand up, give us the speech.
Listen, sometimes those
I don't know if I want to give
there's a
that.
reason those are staples. It's because they're fucking hit. They're real.
They do, and I think that if I've learned anything in the last couple of years of my life and this experience in owning a business and just moving through life as an adult, you know what I mean? I feel like, like self fucking love, bro, is really the catalyst to all of the things that you want to achieve. Anything that seems too insane or your goals or whatever, like the only way you can ever reach things is if you believe you can. And the only way to believe that you can is to love yourself enough to know that you deserve it. And I think that has been like the biggest part of my growth recently, like is just learning that like you fucking deserve this. Like you're dope enough. Like you're different than everybody else too. Like fuck that, you can have it.
Yeah.
If this loser can have it, you can have it.
That's
you know what I
fire.
mean?
I like that.
What do you think was the biggest reason or thing you did that helped you get to love yourself more?
I
How do you think you get to it?
You know, I think you have to go through all the breakdown parts of it. You have to like completely be dismantled, you know? And I feel like I went through that in relationships. I feel like I went through that with friendships. I feel like I went through that in my dynamic with my parents. and my upbringing, like you have to completely be broken down into the pieces where you're just cutting your fingers trying to put them all back together and see where to start.
Isn't that weird?
And
as people, like we need to be broken to like really be right,
to understand the meaning of being full or whole.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, and I got gaps, you know, I'm still, it's piece by piece, but like I'm more aware now that like the true value of myself is in my ability to have been able to put the pieces back together. Yep. And I think that's the strength in me that I hope stands out. And I hope that it inspires anyone who feels like, whoever may have grown up how I grew up or just went through the things that I've went through.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, the struggle is a necessity. And also, if you are struggling, a good way to deal with it is to get a tattoo. Always helps.
Get a tattoo. It does, you know. It's the only thing nobody can steal from you. You can't sell it. You have it forever. You know? The only thing you actually do take with you to your grave.
All right, where can people find you? What's your Instagram handle? What's your Instagram handle? And or anywhere else?
Jozzy Camacho. And that's it. That's Instagram. That's Facebook. They just maybe made up fucking Twitter. I'm probably not going to use it, but I'll be there.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was an awesome podcast.
Definitely.
And we look forward to watching you November 1st.
Yeah, November 1st it comes out. Anything you want to say about the show or any final comment about that?
November 1st. I don't know what time it's airing yet, but I'm excited for you guys to judge me.
On Paramount Plus.
Book your tattoos now because you ain't going to be able to.
The price went up.
It's too late. It's too late.
I better be getting grandfathered in. I hope I get the good
I got you
price
for
still.
life, Zach. I got you for life.
Damn, that's going on Instagram.